3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Ian Walsh, Hard Money Bankers, joined my partner Ryan Walsh, Hard Money Bankers. Ryan, what's going on?
Hello.
Got the holiday season here. Joined with a familiar face and a not familiar face on the podcast. We have Brian Reed, the Beach Homes team. Brian, what's going on, man?
How you doing? Good to be back.
Yeah, and Colleen Johnston. Colleen, new to the show. How you doing?
Hi there, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Sure. I just wanted to highlight for the newcomers to the show, Colleen's background a little bit. Colleen, you were in the NJ Realtors Circle of Excellence winner, gold level. You're an agent down on Brian's the Beach Homes team, and you have sold over 200 properties in your career thus far. Is that all accurate?
All accurate, 200 and counting.
Okay.
Still having a pretty solid year. Brian and I are still pretty busy, even though it's Christmas time.
That's good. That's real good. The Shore, every time we've talked to Brian, the Shore has remained. I think there was like one little slowdown spurt in the market, but you guys it just seemed like it blew right through that. And it seems like the Shore is a hot place to be still. So, which is interesting.
It is.
A little different.
Brian and I like to tell people that when the weather outside is frightful, the deals are delightful. I sing about that, but no, it's true. I've put some of the best deals together around Christmas time because when nobody else is coming to go to the boardwalk because it's too cold, that's when you want to come to the Shore to, possibly get one of the best deals.
Okay. So it's a bit more of a buyer's market in the winter.
It's not that it's necessarily a buyer's market. It's that you're not competing with 4 or 5 other people for the same property.
Okay. That's good. Cause I know this market, I was just looking the other day. So the Shore obviously is still on an uptick, but definitely, I look at a lot of comps like in the city and stuff in Philadelphia, and it's softening there. So maybe everybody's just going from the city to the Shore, and that could make sense.
What happens too in the wintertime, and one of the biggest concerns we hear from everybody is that they don't want to carry the property. They don't want to carry the mortgage from October to when they're going to use the property in May or June. What ends up happening, if you look at like a $500,000 property, let's just say you were to get a 5% discount, that's $25,000. At the old interest rate, you may only pay, you close now, right? You put the property under contract in December. Your first payment's not in February. You have 3 mortgage payments. Even if it's 4 at $3,000 to $4,000 a month, that's $16,000. So you're actually saving $9,000 by buying now and carrying versus buying later and paying more.
So it washes out or negates it basically, and then you jump right into.
It's an advantage. It's actually an advantage. It's net positive to the buyer who's buying now. And a lot of times too, you see different things. You can check the heater now. In the summer you can check the AC, but you can't check the heater. Right? You can maybe have some asks for home inspection items in the winter that. In March, when everyone wants to get in, that you're kind of foregoing a home inspection, or you're not negotiating those things because you don't have the power because there's multiple offers.
Okay, so there's some advantages to buying right now in the Shore market for sure. So does are you guys just noticing it's business as usual for truly, or is it softening or still?
Well, I think that there was a slowdown, as you had mentioned. And for us, that was right around Thanksgiving. It was very slow. Interest rates were high, but here lately, what I've been seeing, we've had several straight weeks of slight interest rate drops, and that has really brought a lot of buyers back into the market. And again, those properties that were probably listed, in November and around Thanksgiving, they're now having price reduction. So I think the combination, at least for me, what I'm feeling here on the street, I've been in 2 multiple offer situations this weekend.
Oh wow, yeah, that's interesting. You mentioned the price or the interest drops. So now I am not the crystal ball guy, but it doesn't make sense to me because interest rate dropping right now. I mean, you can't tell me we just found the bottom and the interest rates are now going to go down. Oh my gosh, like the prices will go right back up again. I mean,
that's what all the economists are predicting. So
I know, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, like 6 interest rate drops over the next year is what somebody said. That's crazy.
So what I think they're trying for, and you can never really know what the economists are thinking, but I think they're trying to have a lot of really small interest rate drops to gradually get back to, a place where a lot of people in the market can afford. This is his favorite thing. Here we go.
Oh yeah. We need one of those on our show.
I do have a crystal ball.
yeah,
Yes,
I like it.
The one thing that it does show me is that people will continue to buy shore properties.
Okay,
there's absolutely no doubt about it. My big thing, having gone through that 2005 timeframe, 2008, you had a lot of people, and I want to call them buyers, but I'll use that term loosely, who said $500,000 property. When that goes down to 475, I'll buy it 475. It goes to 475, they say 450. When it's at 450, they just never bought. They're trying to time the market. I think you're seeing a little bit of that with interest rates as well. If they're going to keep going down a quarter point, some people are going to say they'll wait. However, they're potentially going to lose out on their property. And then, once we get into that February, late January, get past the Super Bowl, hopefully the Eagles are in it. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of people are going to be back hard pressed to get their property. And then you're going to have some competition. Maybe the interest rates will be wherever they're at. But at that point, most people don't care. They're just looking at their family saying, we want a shore house.
Yeah, and the shore house appeal for the rest of time in the New Jersey / New York market is going to be there. You go to the shore, you go to the shore for a weekend or a week or whatever, and you're like, wow, that felt really good. And then you go home, it's only an hour away for most people or whatever it may be, and you're like, something just doesn't feel right. I'd rather be down there, right? You never feel like, oh, thank God I left the shore. You always feel like, I want to go back to the shore. Maybe can I live there? Can I figure that out? And I'm sure you guys see that all the time, right? People are just like, I'd rather just be here around the clock, right? Is that more or less the appeal? Spend a little time, and then it's like, we got to just get a house down here. Is that how that works out?
And if I can make a prediction, okay. So,
yeah, you got the ball.
Here's the Colleen Johnston crystal ball prediction.
Okay.
If you buy the house this year,
yeah,
you will have gained equity in 5 years. That's the easy prediction.
Ooh,
and in 10 years, you will have gained even more equity. So that is my crystal ball prediction.
Okay.
And I think that's supported by a lot of the crazy new construction that we're having, especially in the Wildwoods. Like, I think a lot of people felt like the Wildwoods were the last, unclaimed territory. That was the last place where you could get a really good deal. And it's been discovered. So you have a lot of new construction.
I feel like we're like San Francisco like that, right? Where it's just like New Jersey's small enough where it's like, yeah, there's actual physical limit here. And beaches are going to fill up, and it's like, where do you build from there? You don't build away from the beach, So
yeah.
Right now, there's a couple things that are happening in the market. Like right now, I know of about 50 3-bedroom, 2-bath condos that are being built in the Wildwoods.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what used to happen, Wildwood proper, their taxes are twice as much as what North Wildwood taxes are. So there was a time when interest rates were 2, 3, 4%, where people could actually afford another $150,000 worth of home in North Wildwood compared to Wildwood. And that difference, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in the Wildwoods was around $550. And, some of the ones in North Wildwood went up to $850. So when you're paying 7% on that $300,000 difference, it's massive, but when it was 2.5%, 3%, and the difference was $200,000, it really wasn't that big because the taxes you were paying kind of made up some of that gap. There's still a lot of value and equity in the Wildwoods, especially compared to other properties. And one of the things that we're very fortunate to have right now that we want to focus a little bit on with you guys is resurgence in multifamilies down in the Wildwoods for J1 students, for workers, for a lot of people who got tired of the eviction moratoriums in in Philadelphia, and they've realized that they can do the Airbnb style. They can do condo conversions and sell off units, keep some for themselves. And we have a few of them right now that are just incredible that will probably be going very quickly, like a beach block, 5-bedroom, single family home, 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom beach block with 13 car parking and 4 2-bedroom units for like $1.3 million. On the beach
sounds
block,
really good. That sounds really good. Yeah, it sounds like a really good number to get.
Colleen has one for about $1.6 million. That's a 5 or 6-bedroom, and then 4 big 2-bedrooms in 2 separate buildings, just a block and a half from the beach, right at the piers. We just did another duplex for $1.5 million. That is 2 4-bedroom units, and it really has outdoor yard. You can put in a pool. Make an amazing Airbnb compound.
Yeah, there's I haven't usually gone down to Wildwood too often. I went when I was a kid, like 13, 14 years old a few times. That's obviously much different than it was now. But I went this summer recently for my son had a like a beach blast soccer tournament or whatever. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. I mean, that place has it going on. It is. I went down there thinking, it's just going to be this little soccer tournament. I mean, it's busy. It is a busy beach town. Like it kind of caught me off guard as to when I went down there and said, man, this is like vacation central here. Cause I've been to
it's all grown up, right?
Yeah. It's grown up. It's active. It's built out. Like it's a town, it's really like, and then when I went there, I was like, oh, this is what Brian talks about when he says, this is the secret's out of the bag and stuff, because I was in an area that I think was like, it was like, okay, it was like right near the tournament. So it was like, but I just realized how active it was, especially compared to the other beaches that I go to. So there's a lot going on there right now. And I guess, as you guys are saying, it's not slowing down by any stretch.
So we have a national dog show that comes into town in the wintertime, the state wrestling basketball tournaments. So like every one of those weekends, we have a cheerleading competition in the wintertime. So there's 4 weekends.
Gymnastics.
Yeah.
Bridal shows.
Yeah. It's crazy how much off-season rentals you can do via Airbnb. So if you want to work these properties, like I could give you a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2 blocks from the beach. If you just rent, weekends in the summer and don't do it or weeks in the summer and don't do it Airbnb style, you might be able to get $25,000 out of it. There's some people that are going Airbnb style. That same unit that someone's getting $25,000, next door is getting 40.
Jeez, yeah, that's a huge gap. And we did Airbnb when we went down there. It's just a nice, it's a good experience. It's like I don't know, like for a while there when Airbnb first hit the market, I was like, I don't know if this could last. I don't know if this is going to be, they were the hotels weren't happy about it, but I just think it was too strong, too much, and it's here to stay. And so people, obviously, and a beach Airbnb is like a no-brainer. When you kind of have something that's off the beach, you got to sell it. But when you're like 1 block from the beach, you don't even have to put a picture up. You're just 1 block from the beach, what are $400, $500 a night, whatever it is. Okay, I'm in. You're going to sell it, right? It's going to rent. So, you guys are moving business as usual, and which is a little bit of a different song from what we see up here right now, and I don't.
Well, I mean, you say business as usual, but I guess what I'm hearing from Brian and Colleen,
business is better, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, business is better, but they've also pivoted and gone with their local market, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Brian was just saying, like, we're seeing a resurgence of multifamilies and whatnot. Like, that's the advantage of having your local experts is they see where the town's going. Because we're from Jersey and we don't know these things, right, Ian? You really need that there in person to tell you what's going on with the town, where are things going. Colleen, I know you said you have a 5 and 10 year outlook on equity, but I bet it's more than that. I bet you're saying but maybe it's in specific areas. So maybe it's like you come in and you want a multifamily. You can still do your single family. I'm not saying that's not part of the market anymore, but you are seeing where the town is going, right? So in a way, it is business as usual, Ian, like you're saying, but also you can clearly see that, Brian and Colleen's expertise comes into helping the market and helping the buyers and sellers there.
Well, who are your sellers? Who are your sellers now?
So the sellers are primarily people that it used to be that wanted to upgrade. And, you have a lot of people now that are moving further south, whether it's the Carolinas,
like retirement
down
style,
Florida. Everyone since COVID is focusing on their primary homes. So a lot of people are going from condos to townhomes, condos to single families. They're looking at moving down here full time or moving somewhere full time. The other thing about local realtors that most people don't know is we see a huge influx from different companies coming down here. They sell in Philadelphia. They now have their Jersey license, and we see it all the time. And we see a lot of sellers who were sold a bill of goods from their realtors from outside the area, and they see the value in us knowing the market and reselling the market. As you know, we do a ton on Facebook. Colleen's really active. I mean, she's the kind of person that dresses in a Little Mermaid outfit and does a Ariel scene by the water, like to sell $125,000 trailer. So she's going well above and beyond. But people are coming into town. What people don't really realize is, we sell primarily the Wildwoods. We do Ocean City through Cape May, but 2 years ago we sold 153 homes. 131 of them were in the Wildwoods. That's 8 blocks by 5 miles. I know in Philadelphia, surrounding suburbs, they're doing multiple counties, maybe driving 45 minutes to an hour to go show properties in different areas. We're barely going offshore, right? So even it's crazy. The next town up is Stone Harbor and Avalon. They do Stone Harbor and Avalon, and then maybe go out to Cape May Courthouse, which is just offshore. And then you have Sea Isle, and those realtors just do Sea Isle and just offshore. Ocean City, same thing. They're doing Ocean City, Summers Point, and Marmora, which is just offshore. They're really niches. And the fact is, I could go up to Sea Isle, and I know the properties. I can go to Ocean City. They're all duplexes. I don't know that property like a local realtor that is there driving by it every day. I know every single house on this island for the most part. So it's crazy. I know where the flood points are. I'm not going to put you in one of those situations. Colleen's not going to put you in a situation where you're sitting in a low area when you get a high tide and full moon. You're going to lose your car.
No thanks.
That's intimate knowledge of being down here on a Thursday in February when we get those northeast storms.
Yeah, that's interesting. You mentioned that. I mean, you got the big fish, small ocean. Is that what we'll go with on this one?
Big local knowledge is what we specialize in, and our local knowledge might be a little bit more local and more, as he said, niche related than some of the other areas people sell real estate.
I had a guy early in my, in 2007 when I was wholesaling properties in Philadelphia that really stuck with me particularly, and you guys have the same feel to your team. Is he was a flipper in Mount Airy market of Philadelphia, and he knew his area. I mean, he did all of his business in just Mount Airy, right? He everything. So he knew everything about Mount Airy. And I remember calling him one day with a deal that I had. And I said, "Hey, I got this house on such and such block." And he goes, the one with the yellow house next to the one with the blue house and with the roof on the such and such. He's like, I'll pay you this much for it. I was like, you didn't even see it. He's like, Ian, I know every house in Mount Airy. He goes, trust me, it's going to cost me between this much and this much, give or take $5,000. I was like, holy cow. It's like, that's what an expert looks like, and that stuck with me to this day that, people think they have to go nationwide to make money. And it's like, no, you can literally make money. You could make a fortune, which you said, Brian said, 5 by 8 blocks, basically your whole, whatever that, there's so much money in that area. And then when you become such an expert in that area, you just propel yourself from, like you said, the out-of-towners, out-of-state area realtors that are just, they put you in the flood zone. And those little things add up to maybe you did, Colleen's done 200 homes, but, if she didn't have that knowledge, maybe it would have been 50% of that. I don't know what the tangible number is, but it's real. It's a real thing. Finding your farm area, whether you're a realtor or investor, is key. And then when you're the king of that area or the queen of that area, it's hard. I mean, everybody knows who you are. Right.
Nothing replaces local knowledge. I mean, that needs to be a realtor's real worth.
a lot of times too, if you think about this, right? So the good thing where we're both at right now, and not that we don't have ethics regardless, when you do the amount of deals we do, like I can walk into a house and I'm not trying to sell you a house. I'm just trying to be a consultant. I don't have to sell you a home to put food on my table. I don't feel that pressure. It's not like that, and I can stay local. I'm not driving that 45 minutes to an hour. And I think you have a lot of people that spread themselves really, really thin because they're just chasing the deal. It's not about the client. It's not about doing what's best for them. And, a part of the way we set up this team, I live offshore. I have multiple properties in the Wildwoods, one in Cape May. Colleen lives in North Cape May. I have a realtor that lives in West Wildwood. I have one that lives, out towards the Vineland area. So we're doing a little bit, refer to her out in-house out to her. And we have someone in Cape May Courthouse, so we kind of have that covered. We've also had relationships with lead agents in Ocean City, Sea Isle, where we're maybe not referring to them, but they know we're not primarily competing with them. So when they need to know something in the Wildwoods, they give us a call, know that they can get an honest opinion. And when I need something in Sea Isle or Ocean City, I say, hey, look, I have this listing. I think I have it pegged. Can you tell me anything specific about the 2400 block of, west in Ocean City that I should know that might be intimate knowledge that I don't? And, it's asking questions. There's no better way. You guys have a podcast. You ask the right questions, you're going to get better answers.
Yeah, you're going to find things out that you just simply didn't know. And which, information being power, knowledge, whatever it is in its own right is true. And it's nice when, you get to know, like when you're one phone call away from an expert, that really goes a long way. Ryan and I have this like notorious thing for my life that I always seem to find experts in what I do. And then it's a shortcut, right? It's a shortcut to information and lowering risk when you have true experts in an area. And I've always done that throughout my entire career. And if I were to buy a house in Wildwood, I would call Brian, period. Like that's, to me, I don't know any other expert down there. Right. So that's who I would call, or I call Colleen. I would call Colleen or I call Brian. Yeah. The second expert I now know in the area. And I mean that sincerely, because there's no sense in dabbling with, especially like a high ticket item, like a high price item. Like why would you short sell yourself and gamble? Like you're gambling if you're not talking to the individual that knows that you guys have spent years doing things that I don't want to or never will do in that area. And all I have to do is call you and be like, hey, what can you tell me about this? Same thing with like lending. If you guys needed, like Brian had a lending question, he would just call me. Right. And that shaves off years. So that local knowledge and that expert level of an area is huge. So when you don't get that, you can also tell very quickly.
Well, it's also an ethical thing. A realtor has like an ethical, duty to have local knowledge to be able to provide that to a customer. If I'm going to buy a house in Trenton, I'm going to use a local Trenton realtor. Yes, I could technically go into another area and I could, try to fumble my way through it. But why? There's an expert there that I could call on. So we're here to be that expert, for everybody else.
Do you guys get people that are like, look, I was dealing with this guy. He has no idea what he's talking about. And then they talk to you. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
A few times. Yes.
Yeah. Yes, that's substantial to have that. So I'd imagine you guys probably get that call. And it's probably reassuring. It's probably refreshing. And then what it does is it's like a no-brainer, right? It's like a no-brainer. They're like, this is who we're working with, period. Like they saw what it could be like. They saw the ugly side of it. And then they call you up and they're like, okay, this is it. This is who we're working with. I don't care how we find the home, but this is
I just had that happen to me. So
oh, you did? Okay.
I had a client call me and say, Colleen, I just had my listing end with a previous realtor, and in 6 months we got no offers. And I spoke to her again after the property was listed, and she said, Colleen, you got more action on my property in 2 days than I got in the previous 6 months. And It's because you have to know what buyers are looking for. Are they looking for pet friendly? Are they looking for under 250? Are they looking for, year round? Because we have a lot of seasonal condos, and you have to position it for exactly what those buyers are looking for.
We see a lot, I'm at the point in my career, I don't cold call. I don't really sit open houses. I'm not doing mailings. I'm literally getting cold called to list properties. And what's happened over the years, I think, is people will purchase from, someone they walk into an open house, someone that they meet, at the first house. But with our strong presence online where everyone's looking, they see the marketing we're doing. We're seeing the professionalism. They're seeing the professional pictures, the aerials. They're seeing consistency. And when I go to sell that house, and at times I feel bad because I also ask the question, especially when it's the realtor that purchased is local, right? So, they may say they see that their realtor's local and they decide to go with us anyway. I asked the question. They said, well, we understand that you're the man when it comes to, or woman when it comes to selling the properties. We see the amount of marketing you're doing on a daily basis.
You're that 777 guy.
Yeah.
He's the 777 guy.
So I get that all the time. Like, it's crazy. I'll go to like my local Costco is Long Beach Island. That's the closest Costco, which is like 60 miles away. Or I'll go up to Delaware. I'm up in that area a little bit. I went back to my hometown, Costco. I didn't recognize anybody. I go into Delaware. I have two people come up to me. I go into the one like in Philadelphia area, and people were like, hey, Brian, we're going to rent your property. Hey, I follow you on Facebook. Hey, I do the Guess the Price game. And I'm the 777 guy now.
Okay. All right.
So it's no longer Brian Reed Beach Homes. It's a 777 guy.
All right. So it's a local little local fame there. We've had that happen a couple times with these hoodies where we run into, like, we go to stores and people are like, Ryan had one of my clients run into him, and it's kind of an interesting feeling. Part of it is like, Brian, you have to give an honest answer to this. Do you like people recognizing you like that, or would you prefer not?
Do you like being a celebrity, or
celebrity? Yeah.
So here's what I'll tell you is
okay.
It feels good because a lot of times I'm doing a lot of inspirational stuff on my posts. It's not all real estate. I've had more DMs from, and here's where it's weird is it's when it's a guy from high school that says, hey, Brian, I really appreciate your journey and what you put out there. I've been struggling with this or that, and you bring me hope.
Oh, that's
because I've had that kind of journey, and I have that happen quite a bit where people were just like, you know what, if you can, I can too. Mm-hmm. Those things, that's what keeps me going. It's not the next house. It's not the next closing. It's the people that appreciate what I'm putting out there. And for anyone that's met me and seen what I do, like, there's no bullshit online with me. I can't have done this I haven't missed a day posting since November 1st, 2016. People are going to call me out online if I'm full of shit. It's just not me. What you see is what you get. Like today, like I get choked up thinking about this stuff. At the end of my 7-8 years ago, I was drinking myself to death. I tell people this, I wasn't going to be, potentially around my child. And if you see, she's the most important part of my life. Now I'm on the board of directors for the Ronald McDonald House Charities of the Greater Philadelphia, and I'm on the parent advisory committee for Nemours Hospital. I'm going today to feed 75 families at the house, so that they can, go back and be with their kids, that are sick and suffering at the hospital or doing rehab and stuff like that. This is the stuff that drives me, and selling houses allows me to give more back. That's what it does.
Yeah, that's powerful stuff because, and I'm sure you can attest to this, but when you do those kind of things, selling houses becomes so secondary, right? You're just like, what is it? It's because when you to be able to bring somebody that kind of, motivation and drive or inspiration's the right word, is like, so I do stuff as well that sometimes I'm just like, man, this is what I need to do full time, right? Like, if this could just pay bills, I would do this full time, because it's so much more driving. And I think, I see your posts, and it's obvious that your primary function is giving back. Your secondary function happens to be being really good at selling homes, right? Like, that's
about the relationships. And
Brian's done a really good job of that. Yeah.
And I was literally down to my last 2 mortgage payments.
That's crazy.
8 years ago.
Yeah.
I own 4 homes, and we bought a hotel with a partner last year.
Yeah.
You know, that's the stuff that I don't say that to be like, hey, look at me. It's I was there and I know what a bottom looks like. And I know what mapping from A to B looks like and to getting to where you need to be. I bought that 1 bedroom with my wife the year after we got married and rented it and had no idea how we were going to, you know, buy that $117,000 1 bedroom condo, you know, and then buying duplexes and condo converting, like, you know, first home with a child. Like we get that 100%. And we put ourselves in your shoes and will not allow you to like lose. We don't want you to lose, you know.
Would you change anything on the journey?
So if I changed anything in the journey, I'm that guy who says, you know, it's a butterfly effect. If I change one single thing, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I mean, so minute of a change leads to such a reaction. And that's what I tell people, like making a small difference in your life right now, like for start in January, don't ever post anything negative online. Don't make a comment online. Don't respond online and see how your life changes. One little thing can make such a difference in your life. For me, it was not drinking and giving back. You know, that one thing has led to everything. I gave up one thing to have everything.
I love it. I don't think there's a better way to end this podcast. And if that doesn't give you some holiday inspiration and you know, focus on the important things in life, I don't know what does. So Brian, Colleen, thank you so much for being on. It was more powerful of a podcast than I anticipated. I thought we were going to just talk selling homes, but this ended up being way better. So awesome. And you guys enjoy the holidays and keep rolling with what you're doing.
Hey, before we go there, Ian, how can people get a hold of you there, Brian and Colleen?
I have Colleen's email scrolling on the bottom the entire podcast. So if somebody missed it, they didn't actually watch it. But anybody that needs to get a hold of Colleen sells beachhomes@gmail.com.
If someone can't find me, they're probably not going to be able to find a second home.
They don't have the they don't have the internet. Yeah, they just don't have the internet. That's what it is. So, all right, guys, awesome. We'll do it again, and always a pleasure speaking with you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yep, take care.